This is a routine you can do if your hips are feeling a little tight. So we're going to start standing at the front of our mat. Just making sure that our feet are in line with our hips here. Arms are coming out to the side. Belly slightly pulled in towards the spine. Tailbone is slightly tucked under towards the heels. Just close the eyes for a moment here. Let the shoulders relax and move down the back. Taking a nice deep breath in through the nose, filling up the belly and lungs and chest. And exhaling, everything falling back towards center. Take a nice inhale, open the eyes and reach the arms all the way up overhead. Nice long stretch. Exhale to lead with your heart center, bending the knees, folding over the legs, nice and slowly here. Maybe straightening the legs a bit and releasing the head. Bringing the hands onto the shins, taking an inhale, lengthening out the spine here. Exhale to release and fold back in towards the leg. Bending the knees slightly here, pressing the palms of the hands down to the ground, stepping right foot, left foot, plank position. Really pressing through the palms of the hands, opening up those shoulder blades, leading out through the back of the heel, belly slightly pulled in. Taking an inhale to rock forward. Exhale, lift those hips all the way up and back, coming into a downward facing dog. Maybe shaking the head out a little bit here, and we're going to take the feet out a little bit wider since we're doing a little hip sequence here. We're going to sway those hips, so we'll take an inhale to lift those heels. Exhale to shift the hips towards the left side. Taking an inhale, lift those heels back to center, round the back a bit, and exhale to drop the heels towards that right side, pressing into that outer right hip. Inhale at center, exhale to release. We'll set those feet back at center here. Taking an inhale, we're going to engage those lower abdominal muscles, bringing ourselves into a plank position here. As we exhale, we're going to drop knees, chest and chin, keeping the elbows in tight and chin comes down. Your inhale kind of snaking forward, coming into a cobra position. Exhale to release. Taking another inhale, leading with that heart center. Exhale, pulling the belly towards the spine, coming into cat pose, and then exhaling into child's pose. Staying here for one breath, just to rest a little bit. And then inhaling up onto all fours. Exhale to tuck those toes, lift those hips all the way up and back. And we'll take an inhale to lift that left leg up. Keeping the hips squared for a breath, circling out that ankle, and then inhaling to open up that hip, stretching the foot up a little bit higher. Exhale to drop that foot towards the right side. Feeling a nice stretch in the hip. Maybe playing around a little bit here, stretching it out. And we'll take a nice inhale, and we're going to bring that knee all the way in between the hands. Coming into a pigeon pose here. So we're going to shimmy that right foot back a little bit, release the top of the foot, and kind of sink down a little bit more into that left hip. If this hip is very elevated, you can stick a blanket or a pillow or something to help give you a little more support. If not, just kind of wiggle the hips a little bit here. Make sure the back right knee and top of the foot are pressing into the mat. Take an inhale to lift and open the chest a little bit here. Exhale, pulling that belly towards the spine and gently folding over that leg. Breathing nice and deeply into the low back here, folding over. So we'll stay here for 5 deep breaths. Feel free to shake the hip out a little. Taking one more full breath where you are. Just walking the hands back here, taking an inhale to slowly roll up. Exhaling to press the palms of the hands into the ground, tucking that right back toe, lift those hips, and step that left leg all the way back, finding that downward facing dog, and just feel the difference between the left and right so far. Wiggle those hips a little side to side, maybe bend the knees. Taking an inhale to sweep that right leg all the way up, circling the ankle a little bit here, and then reaching it to open up that hip, dropping the foot towards that left side, maybe stretching it a little bit here. And then taking an inhale to let that knee move in towards the hands. Again, shimmying that left foot back a little bit, setting those hips low, releasing the top of the foot into the mat. Always an option if you want a little bit more of a challenge or a little deeper stretch, we can parallel the foot to the front of the mat. So just an option. If not, keep that heel nice and close to the groin. Rock from side to side here, wiggling out the hips a little bit. Taking an inhale to open up that chest. Exhale to draw the belly towards the spine, folding over that front leg. And releasing here. Taking nice, easy, soothing breaths here, really visualizing that breath coming into those hips, creating some space, circulating new energy. Breathe in here for 5 deep breaths. Stay here for one more full breath. And then pressing the palms of the hands into the ground, taking an inhale to slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Pressing into the palms of the hands here, tucking the left toes, lifting those hips and stepping all the way back into a downward facing dog. Shaking those hips out, feeling a little bit of a difference here. You're going to take an inhale to reach that left leg all the way up. Bending that knee here and then letting that foot come all the way in between the hands. And we're going to take that foot out a little bit towards the edge of our left side of the mat here. And we're going to bring the left and right palm of the hand onto that right side. So you can stay here. This is lizard pose. So we're getting a little bit deeper into the hips. Or you can feel free to come down to the forearms. And maybe staying here, or maybe releasing the back knee, back right knee and top of the foot here. Let the head have a little break. Trying not to let that knee come out to the side, keeping it nice and close towards that left shoulder. Staying here for a deep breath. Getting into those hips. Releasing any long-term stress that you're holding. The hip stretches they tend to be kind of intense, so just put a little smile on your face as you breathe nice and deeply through this posture. Stay here for one more full breath. pressing the palms of the hands into the ground here. We'll kind of bring that left foot back at our center. Tuck that back right toe and step back into a downward facing dog. And again, just feeling the difference from the left and right side. Your next inhale, sweeping that right leg all the way up, opening the hip, bending the knee, reaching it out towards that left side. And then inhaling to step that right foot all the way in between the hands. Rocking a little forward back here, finding your balance, and then letting that right foot walk out towards the right edge of your mat, bringing the right palm and left palm onto the ground here, and staying here, and breathing. Or maybe coming down to the forearms if that's an option for you, and releasing the back knee and top of the foot. Try to relax the head and shoulders as much as you can here. Working to kind of keep that right knee in close to the right shoulder. It's okay if it rolls out a little bit. Just want to make sure you're protecting the ankle and the knee joint. Breathing nice and deeply here in our lizard pose. We'll stay here for one more deep breath. And pressing the palms of the hands into the ground here. Letting that right foot come back to center, tucking the left toes, lifting up and stepping back into our downward facing dog. Feeling those hips open up a bit, feeling some space here. We'll widen those feet once again. And take an inhale to lift the heels. Exhale, shift those hips to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale, shift those heels to the left. And just bringing those feet back to center here. Take an inhale to drop the knees, coming onto all fours, releasing the tops of the feet. We're going to take the knees out wide here, letting the big toes stay in towards each other, and then just shift those hips all the way back, coming into a wide-legged child's pose, releasing the forehead, or maybe using a blanket or pillow to rest your head on. You can kind of bend the elbows a little bit, relax, shake those hips out. Just take a moment to breathe and release here. Feel free to stay here and just bring those knees back and towards each other, rolling up nice and slowly. Hopefully your hips are feeling a little bit looser, a little bit more spacious. Have a good day.